let's talk about the estate sale. I was debating on not talking about this because honestly, like, I do want to talk about it, but I don't. Every time I post, it's like, I'm living this nightmare that I cannot escape. And I was telling one of my friends, like, I genuinely post about this because it's the only sense of control I have over my own life. And that's why I post about it, because it's literally the only thing I feel like I have control over is the content I put out. Everything else I don't. I'm on day 4 of moving into the new home. My life is in shambles. It's really frustrating, and I'm like hitting a wall. And now that more footage is circulating of the estate sale, I have some thoughts about it. So the estate sale listing was initially sent to me by a friend, and they were like, hey, is this like, you know, whose house? And I was like, yeah. And I went through it, and I was immediately alarmed to see that it was like 95% of her stuff. It was everything that brought her joy, everything that brought her comfort. It was her teapot collection, which she really loved. These like Venetian mirrors that she just had to have, like her clothes, her shoes, cameras, iPad, journals, medicine, like her entire, like everything. And I crashed out on my close friend's story. I was crying, and I was like, what is this? This looks like she was raptured. I am so confused right now. And there was an ottoman that I wanted, so I made the decision to go in the last hour because I found out about it late, and I was like, okay, last hour, like maybe the ottoman is still there. Silly me, I guess I don't really know how estate sales work because it was definitely not there. But what was there was really hard to watch because it was a bunch of strangers digging through the remnants of my ex-best friend's house, and it was a very emotional experience, and I did shed some tears. It was really sad. Not only that, but I was really alarmed to see that Leah left behind a plushie that like meant a lot to her, that she would like sleep with every night, and that she took with her whenever she wasn't feeling well, like to surgeries, this or that, or whenever she was scared. It brought her a lot of comfort. Its name was Pinky. And I was like, what the hell? Like, this is so bizarre. So I went home. I was crying, by the way. Like, I was crying when I saw Pinky because I had a lapse in empathy, or a lapse in, you know, staying strong, and empathy kicked in. I got Pinky in case she ever decided that she didn't mean to get rid of Pinky. I don't know. So like I said, grief, empathy, it's weird. And I called Zach, and I was like, this is really alarming to me. Is this not alarming to you? He was like, no, why would it be weird? I was like, you don't find it weird that she's getting rid of everything that she like loves, everything that she adores? You don't think that's weird? He's like, oh, well, she just like wants a new start, like, you know. And I said, Zach, that's just like not how it works. Like, yeah, you want a fresh start, but you don't like be like, time to get rid of my iPad. You know what I mean? You don't like there are certain things like you go get a fresh start, but you don't get rid of like your personal, like very personal, close to you belongings. Sure, junk, yeah. I was alarmed to see like all of her Christmas and Halloween decorations because those brought her so much joy. She like decorates for Halloween like a month early and then like leaves it all up. And then same with Christmas, like she just loves that stuff. So I'm like, are you not alarmed? And I was like, I'm scared for her soul. And again, empathy was taking over, and I started being like, Zach, I'm afraid the years of confidence building that we put into Leah is all being taken down. I'm afraid that all the work that we put in to give Leah her own identity and make her feel secure in it is all crumbling for you. And he was like, I told her to bring absolutely anything she wanted. I didn't tell her what she could and couldn't bring. I said, bring absolutely anything you want. And I said, I believe that, because I do believe that. And I said, but you know Leah, and you know that she does not need to be told what to do, and she will assume what you want. And I was right, because he kept on saying stuff along the lines of like, you know, we have like an adult house now, this, that, and the other. And I was like, okay, so admission that like, yeah, you were okay with her. Just, I was like, if she's your soulmate, shouldn't you like be like, yeah, this is all the stuff I love about her. Like, why are you getting rid of this stuff? No, Zach doesn't care. Not because Zach wants her to reduce her identity to nothing for him, but because he actually just does not care. Because somebody who cares about you and who you are wouldn't let you water yourself down for them. They would want you exactly as you are. And I was like, she got rid of Pinky. I was like, who's Pinky? I said, you're her soulmate. You've been with her 8 months and you don't know who Pinky is. That made me crash out. I was like, who are you guys? Who are you guys? I'm so confused. Who are you guys? Like, who are you? And it's so interesting because a couple weeks before all this went down, Zach was like, yeah, me and Leah have a lot in common. I said, what do you mean? He was like, she was popular in high school. And so was I. And I was like, that's weird. She's only ever told me that she was bullied in high school. I know she's told you guys that she was bullied in high school. So why is she telling Zach that she was popular in high school? It's because she mirrors and she tells people what she thinks will get them to relate or have sympathy for her. So anyway, all this stuff, like I crashed out. It was much needed healing to really accept that the Leah that I know doesn't exist. She's gone. I had a really vivid dream about her last night. It was horrible. I woke up in such a bad mood. She like had a red wig on and everything in the dream, and I like ripped it off of her, and I was like yelling at Zach, like, do you not see this? Do you not see this? Again, I don't want Zach back. I would never want a man that didn't pick me. When somebody shows me exactly who they are and what they think about me, it's pretty easy for me to change my energy and put it somewhere else. Especially on such a level of betrayal when you can't follow through on the commitment to your wife, your daughter, and the 5 pets you bought. Like, that's not a man that I want to take care of me. That's not a man I want in my life. But I do not want this girl raising my daughter, right? So I'm crashing out. I'm texting Zach. I'm like, a skinwalker is raising our daughter. Like, wake up. She's getting rid of everything, and I wouldn't doubt it's to try to become more like me. So, with that being said, about a week later, my mother-in-law texts me. She sends me videos of Clover, which I love and adore, and everything like that. And near the end of one of the videos, Clover walks by this chair, and I said, that's interesting. I said, hey, what's the pattern on the chair? And she goes, I don't know, it's from anthropology. And I was like, okay. Now I know what you're thinking, Megan, it's a chair. Let me remind you of what Leah's taste is. Let me remind you of what my taste is. I text Zach. I said, this is interesting. Like, you got like a chair that is like my chair. I said, it feels like you guys are trying to replicate my exact style. It's like I was perfect, but I wasn't. Like, it's like I was perfect, but I wasn't enough. Like, why is Leah trying to change into me? And he was like, it's not that deep. It's just a chair. I said, there's millions of blue chairs. The Zach I know would have never spent $500 on a chair that's tucked away somewhere. And he was like, well, I bought a lazy boy. Leah picked out that chair. I was like, oh, well, that really does not help the case that she's not trying to become me, because this chair is not something Leah would have ever picked out or ever liked. This chair is directly something that I would have picked out, that I would have liked. And again, here are two styles, very contrasted, very different. I'm like, Zach, how do you not see that she got rid of everything that she was before so she can create herself a new identity as me? And like, sorry, I tried to swipe away a notification and it stopped. Like I said before, like if I didn't co-parent with Zach, I would never talk to him again. He'd be dead to me. I would not care. If this girl was a clone of me and Zach wanted that, I would not care, because I don't care about him, his relationships, this and that. I just do not want Leah raising my daughter, because that girl is somebody who made Clover her beneficiary unilaterally, like a month before all this happened. She would always call Clover's room, or she would always call her guest room Clover's room. She was putting these building blocks in place. She told friends like, oh, I don't ever want to get pregnant. I just want a man that already has a baby so that I can have that baby. And that baby can be like my baby. Like, and she kind of, after Clover's first birthday, she had a big crash out, and she started talking about me, she started talking to me like, I really want a baby. I want a baby. She started thinking about adoption. So, whoa, volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club before you adopt a baby. Like, that's a big step. And she's like, no. Like, she just was clearly missing something. So she got a toy poodle. And then she started talking about that toy poodle like it was a baby. Like, I gotta put Blossom down for a nap, took it everywhere, dressed it, acted like the poodle was a baby. And even at the time, Zach was like, this is really weird. I said, yeah, this is really weird. This is so strange. By the way, that dog has been rehomed, along with her other pets. Yeah, bet you didn't know that. So I'm just like, who are you, Leah? Who are you? And why are you so okay with reducing your identity to somebody else to keep a man that has absolutely no loyalty or moral compass? Why are you so okay with reducing yourself to nothing? To nothing that you are actually genuinely happy with? For a man that cheated on his baby mama and abandoned his entire life and wife. That's a man that you want to show up for? Not even as yourself. You just want to become somebody else to keep that man? Every day I'm like just in a Twilight Zone, perverse, fucked up reality. And it's wearing on me. It's very much wearing on me. I forgot to mention, there was one thing I also really wanted. I didn't see it in the photos, but it was this lamp, this mid-century modern vintage lamp, the Lotus lamp. It's been my dream lamp for years. Leah's known this. She has the lamp. She owns one of the lamps. And I asked Zach, I was like, hey, that lamp, did you leave it? He was like, no, that's like one of the things we did take. I was like, and I literally said to him, I said, oh, so one of the items that she did take happens to be an item that she knows that I'm extremely jealous of, that is my dream lamp, and that I've been chasing for years. She doesn't want to be me, guys. She does not want to be me.